Welcome to Programming Rainbow. In this video, we will continue on the series of creating Minesweeper in C and SDL3. If you would like to follow along with this video, you can go to github.com, Programming Rainbow, and this is called Minesweeper C SDL3. Now, this is the 10th video, so when you clone that repository and open it up with whatever editor you would like, what is in the source directory will be the final code. You've just cloned it now. So since this is the 10th video, you'll want to grab the video folder here, number 9, and you'll want to copy this and rename it to SRC and get rid of this old SRC folder so that you can follow along with where we are in this video. Okay, so I just want to show the final project real quick. This time is the 12th one. So this is Minesweeper. If you've ever seen it on like Windows, old Windows systems, where you are trying to figure out where the mines are, and you can see his face changes when I click. And I'm going to click on a mine. This is a mine right here. I'm just going to click on it. That ends the game. His face is sad. This is how many seconds went by. This is how many mines were that I had, minus how many mines have indicated. And I can change the size of it, right? And I can also change the theme, the different themes. And I can change the actual size of how many tiles you have. And if you check up here, there's 80 tiles here. I can change the difficulty, adding more mines in it. So this one will have just a ton of mines. I know there's a mine, right? Yeah, so this is all mines here. And we can still change the theme to whatever we want. So we're doing this whole thing. So where did we leave off with in the last video? Right now we have it kind of revealing the mines. It's not really playing the game. So it's not fully playing the game. We don't have a timer working here. We do not have the indication of the mines here, but we do have it flipping over and doing the algorithm to uncover when we have a blank spot underneath it. So right here, this uncovered all the spots. So all the mines are in here. This is a mine right here, definitely. And this is also a mine. So this is not a mine. And this is not a mine. And let's see here. This is not a mine, and this is not a mine, and this is not a mine. So this is a mine, and here is not a mine. Right there. That's not. So we have a mine, a mine, a mine. These are mines. This is a mine. These are both mines. This is not a mine. Oh, I was wrong on this one right here. This was not the mine. So anyway, we can't actually win or lose because we haven't set it up. You can see we have the tiling flipping over. But what I want to do in this video is I want to take this button right here with the face. I want to make the face work actually. And I want to make it when we click on it, it resets the game. So right now it does nothing. It's just for looks. So that's what we're going to be working with. So right away, I'm going to jump into face. I'm going to add a new member to the struct that is going to be the index of the image we need to show. Right now, it's just hard-coded as 0. So these are the faces. I'm not sure if there's differences between these. Oh yeah, there's a minor difference between the top two, and this is the monochrome version. So we're just working with the top setup here, but this is the standard, the face. And right here is the face being pressed down. This is it when you click somewhere in the mine field, whether it's right or left click is the way I have it set. It's going to give us that face. This is the game over, but you won. And this is the game over, but you lost. So right now it's always on this face. But I wanted to make this face whenever I click where I'm going to uncover a mine. And I also wanted to make this face whenever I am resetting the game. So we're going to be kind of dealing with these, but we're going to basically set everything up for all of them. So I'm just going to leave this here. So I'm going to go into face H and I'm going to add this unsigned. It's going to be image index, because that's just basically how we're going to change the face, is which image index it is. So if we go into normal face, right down here at the bottom, it's just set to 0. So if we look at this, 0 is this image right here. So it's just always 0 now. But when we change it to the index, it is going to be 0 as well, but we can change that now because it's a variable. So I'm just going to change this right away to a variable, which is the image index right there. And now it'll still be 0 because when we calloc this, image index is going to be set to 0. We could manually do it as well. Let me just see if I've done that. No, I haven't set that, but it doesn't matter. It's set by calloc to 0. I could either do the game reset first or the faces. Let's start with the game reset. So I'm going to put this under the free. There's free right here. So I'm going to add a new function here, and I'm going to call this mouse click. So it's going to be face, mouse, click. And this isn't going to be exactly the same as the board one because I'm already going to know if it was a left mouse button before I come into this. So I'm just going to pass in whether it's a down or an up. So I'm going to have a bool down or up, basically. So struct face F. And then we're still going to have the float X and float Y. But then we're going to have this bool, and all this bool is if it's been pressed down or if it's a down action or an up action. To simplify this, I'm just going to say down. Like, is it down? So it's either down or a release. Let me just compile the final code real quick. Right here. So there's already a rectangle here to display this image. Yeah. So I'm going to use that rectangle. If my mouse is inside of that rectangle, I'm clicking on the button, right? So if I'm in there, I can click it down to see how it went down. And then if I release anywhere, it doesn't matter. I'm clicking down, I'm releasing. If I release, it doesn't actually reset. So watch, if I click down and I drag and I release here, I'm going to unclick now. It doesn't do anything. And if I click anywhere else and then release here, it's not going to do anything. I got to click down here and release here, and now it's reset. So I'm going to use this rectangle as my bounding box. I'm basically looking for clicks in this spot right here. And we've already set this rectangle up here, and we're using it to draw the actual image. I'm just going to use this same rectangle to decide if I'm clicking in the thing. So I'm going to say if X is bigger or equal to rect X. It's F. I don't know why I have this destination rect. I feel like I should just call it rect. Let me just change this real quick. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, because I have source recs. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I forgot about that. So dest rect X. And I also, so I want it to be equal or bigger than the X, but I want it to be smaller than X plus width. So I'm going to put and for the double ampersands for the logical and then I'm going to say X is, and I have in my notes smaller equal to, but it's just actual smaller. Just rect X plus that's width. So if on the, at least on the X-axis, if I'm equal to or larger than X, than the rect X, and I am smaller than the X plus the width, I'm within that bounding box. So I'm going to do the same thing on the Y-axis. So it's Y is bigger than or equal to F dest rect Y. And then we have the Y is smaller than dest rect Y. And this will be height, H. So if that is correct, then we are clicking in there. Now I want to know if the click is going down or up. So if I'm in the button and I'm clicking down, I want to change the face from this face to this face. I'm just going to say if down. So remember, we're going to be passing into the function if it's down. This is going to be called from another function. We'll see that. It's going to be called from game. So I'm just going to change the image index to equal 1. Again, image index 1 is actually the second image because it's a 0-based index. So if we're pressing down and we're inside of the bounding box already and we're pressing down, we're going to change it to image 1. We're in the bounding box and our mouse action is going up to down. No matter what has happened before this, if we're in the bounding box and we're going up to down, we are changing it to index 1, okay? In all scenarios. If we're not being pressed down, if we're doing a release, we also want to know, is the image set at 1? If it is, we're going to do something else. So for the first condition, we only care, are we in the box and we're going down. For the second condition, we need to be in the box, we're going up, but also the image has already been set to 1. That means that not only did we press down correctly, even if we've moved the mouse away, we brought it back, but we're releasing inside the box as well. So I'll say else if, and I'm going to say if that image is set to 1. So index equals 1. So if it is, I'm going to set it back to 0. We're going to set it to 0. And we're also going to return. So I'm returning a bool from this. And in this case, I'm not returning an error. I'm returning if the game should be reset or not. So in this case, if my image was already set to 1, I'm in the bounding box and I'm coming back up on the mouse. I want to reset the game. So I'm going to return true. Again, this is not checking error. This is returning basically, should I reset the game? So this is sending it back into the game, the return of the bool. The other thing is, if we're not inside the bounding box, if we're releasing anywhere outside of the bounding box, so we've put the mouse down in the bounding box, so it has changed the image, but we're releasing anywhere else, that's not a valid reset. So we do need to reset the image to 0, but we're not doing anything else. So I'm going to say, if it's not down, so it's being released. Basically, this means we've clicked down in the box and we've set it to 1 already in a prior click action. And now we're releasing the mouse, but yet we're not releasing it inside the reset. So we need to reset the image, but not reset the game. So it'll be 0, and then that's it. And then finally, since we have a bool here, we need to return false. And this return false on this one has nothing to do with errors. Again, it's just to let it know, does it need to reset the game or not? So that's this function. Let's set this up now. So we need to go into game and kind of move things around a little bit. Oh, also I'm going to grab this function signature right here and put this in the header. Okay, so in game. So in here, in the past, we were directly doing the mouse down, mouse up, but we're going to change this. So in game, right above event, what we're going to do is we're going to pull these out into their own functions because they need to do more than one thing. So I'm going to make something that this is a board mouse down. It's going to be game mouse down and game mouse up. And mouse down is going to be void, and mouse up is going to be a bool. It's going to be game mouse down. And this is going to kind of very much look like the other. So we have this struct game. And then we're going to have the float x, float y. And we're going to have that uint8 button. So this is very much like what we've already seen in that we put into game before, or not game, but board. Down, let's see. So right here, it's very much like this. You know, it's the exact same signature, except it's called game. And I'm just going to make the other one too, since it's got a very similar signature. But the other one is returning a bool because it could fail. So this one is going to be a bool. And it'll be up. We also need I'm going to forward declare these above. Or it'll complain, that my compilers are a little bit stricter. So, okay, so now these are forward declared and we can kind of fill them in. So since I know this is a down action, I can pass this off to in the face. I wasn't checking if it's a left mouse button click or a right mouse button click because I'm actually going to do it right here in this down action right here. I don't care about right button clicks depending on what it is. For this thing, for resetting the game, I'm not using a mouse button click at all. I'm only using left. So my function has already been simplified. So I'm just going to say if button equals SDL. And we've already seen this again in the last video, the last two videos. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that face mouse click that we just created in the face module. It's face mouse click, which is going to be G face and X, Y. And we know that this is already a mouse down, so this bool right here is going to be true. Okay, so that's all that we need basically for that. We're also going to add in the board, right? This one right here. So I'm going to yank this, but I'm also going to just change this to board. Or game, sorry. Game. And it's going to complain right here because this just needs to be G for game. But then up here, I'm going to put it in. I'm just basically moving where this is. So this is going to be Gboard, and this is going to be X, because it's coming from this X. This is Y, and this is button. I think I got rid of Y there. Okay, so that basically, I took that call from there and I replaced it. So now it's this game mouse down call. We're going to have to fix up as well, but you get the idea. I'm still calling this the same. It's just coming through this other function, but now we get to do stuff with face. And it'll be more complicated than this, but this is just going to get us resetting the game right now. So for the up, this is one that can fail. So we need to return true. So that we need to check that one. So I'm just going to grab this up here because it's very similar. I'm going to say if this is one that can fail. So I'm going to put the bang on it right there. And this one is mouse up. And we can just return false. So we're just propagating that failure down the line. And so right now, if I were to just take this, or is it from events, and just change it to game, this one board has to go away here. And that looks correct. Let me just look up here. That's board there. That's correct. Okay. So now I've successfully kind of transferred these to these other two functions, but we need to deal with this mouse up for the face. So again, I'm only interested in left mouse button clicks for the resetting. And this is the one that I want to know if a reset was called. You know what I mean? If it returned true, I need to reset the game. So I'm going to say if face mouse click. And X, Y. And this one is going to be false because this true and false is whether the button is being clicked down or up. So I already know this is a game up action, and I already know it's from the left mouse button. So this is going to be false here. So this is where I need to reset the game. The problem is I haven't created that function yet. I have no function that resets the game yet. So that'll be called right here. But when I type it in, it's going to complain. And the resetting the game can fail. So we are returning true or false out of that. That's one of parts of this as well. This can fail right here, but the resetting of the game can also fail. So this whole mouse up thing can fail. So I'm going to call a function that I haven't made yet. Reset G. And if it does fail, I'm just going to return false. And that should be correct. So there's one last thing that's going on here. Whenever we click down, whenever we go from up to down, if we do it inside that bounding box, the face changes. If we click from down to up, basically anywhere, or if the face is anything else, we need to set the face back to the default face. We haven't set that up yet, though. I haven't made that function yet, so there is going to be another little bit added onto this. Let's just create this game reset here. So I'm going to save it even though it's complaining. I'm going to put the game reset up above these mouse down, mouse up things. And this one has to be bool as well, because this can fail. Okay, and this was pretty simple. We're just going to reset the board, which already has that function. And we're going to set the face back to default, which we haven't created that function yet. Since we haven't created the face default yet, we're just going to skip that. It's a minor thing. The face just won't reset. But we can reset the board. I believe we already have access to that function. Is it here somewhere? Let's check. Board reset. Let's look at board and see if we exported that. So even though we're not calling it, we do have access to this. And let's make sure that we're setting the mines. We are setting the mines here. Okay. Because we're going to use that in the function call. So if board reset, and we need the board and then the number of mines. I think it's just mine count. Yeah. And if this fails, we're just going to propagate that. So we are missing resetting the actual face. So this should reset the game, but not the face now. So let's see if I've done it right enough. And we should forward declare this as well. See, my compiler is complaining because I don't have a prototype. And I'm going to get rid of this. It's unneeded. The LSP is trying to help me out, but it's not needed. Okay. So now I push it down. Yeah. And it did reset there, but it doesn't always reset. So let's do this. So I've done that. Reset. Yeah, there we go. And was there a mine here again? So that there's not a mine there. So it did actually reset. So there's a mine right here below the 0. Click down here. There's no mine. Okay. But I believe if I click down and then release here, oh, it did come up. It's fine, huh? Maybe it's, oh, there it is. It didn't come up there. So I'm going to have a thing where I always reset. So I'm not sure what was the specific instance of that. Oh, yeah. If I release over here away, that's okay. We're going to add that functionality. So basically, sometimes the face is not being reset. And what we can do is just go into face, and we can just put a couple little helper functions that are just going to set the face to different things. So underneath this whole mouse click, I'm going to create a couple void functions. There's going to be a face default, a face one, a face lost, a face question. Those are just going to set it to different things. Oh, there's nothing that sets it to down because it only gets set to down inside of this function up here. The other ones can be called externally. So void face default. And I'm just going to make this in a line here. This is going to be F image. And so the default one is 0. So I'm just going to yank this and create some more here. Okay, so we have a default, we have a 1 face. And let's look at that real quick. So if we've 1, we have this face here. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's the 3. And the lost one is the one after it, which is 4. And then the question mark is 2. So this one here, I call this question or whatever, but it's 2. Okay, so I think that's all of those. I'm going to grab these because I need the signatures. Put them in the H file. And are these below the... These are below the mouse click. Okay, so I'm going to put them below the mouse click. We're not using all these in this video, but they're all similar, so they'll all be in place for the next time. So now I do have this face default. So back into game over here, there's 2 places where I kind of like, basically, no matter what, I'm going to reset it. So in mouse down, when we click down on the board somewhere, we can actually change it to a question mark if it's valid, right? We need to create another helper function. So I'm going to skip over this one for a minute, but we're going to come back to that. But down here in the mouse up, we can do the face reset, face default. This is going to be G face. So now we should always have the face resetting correctly for us. Yeah, let's check that, and then we'll add in the kind of the question face. So I'm going to click down and then drag the mouse down and then unclick. Unclick, that's correct. So it shouldn't reset. So I'm going to click it down, I'm going to drag it down and then release it here, and it should not reset. Okay, but it did reset the face. It didn't reset the game is what I mean. So now if I click down here and then drag it up to the face and unclick, it shouldn't do anything either. It should only do something if I click down here and release here as well. And it's done it. And it did reset us because we don't have a mine there again. So that's great. So I kind of want that question mark face now. So we do need to make like one little other helper function in board. So board, we do know if something has been pressed or not, right? If there is a mouse being pressed, basically a mouse action on the board, we have these 2 booleans that are already holding that state. So I'm going to add a little getter function that it's going to return if that is true or not. Put it right above uncover. So right here, I just threw in a little helper function that is returning a bool. Just is one of the mouse press booleans active? So this one is going to be const struct board and b. So I put it as const because this function doesn't need to change anything. We're just returning. And before, when I had it as a single Boolean, I was just returning the bool. But now I have a 2, and I actually want that face to happen on a left or right click. So I'm going to do it on both. So what I'm going to do is if right, or I could do left. If left is clicked, and then I'll do an or right is clicked, right? Right is pressed. So this is going to return true or false, basically. If either one of these are true, it's going to return true. And I'm going to add this to the header file as well. This is underneath board reset. Right here. So now I can query in game if one of them is pressed, so it can change the face. And this default face on the up will reset that as well, which is good. Yeah, so mouse down underneath it. I'm going to say if, and now we can query that function. Board is pressed. Board is pressed, and this will just be G board. So if it is, we're going to change the face to the question. And anytime the mouse comes up, we already have this setting as default unless something else is happening. So now we should get that face. We should get the face whenever we are clicking anywhere. So I'm going to left click, and the face is changed. I'll release here. So I'm going to left click here and then release here. Yeah, we got a 1. Now I'm going to try to do a right click. It's a bit weird on my laptop. Sometimes it's a left click. Yeah, that was a right click. So that's working, and this one's working. And if I do cause the face and I come up here and I release, that's working as well. If I click down here and release here, that should have never changed anything. If I do that, everything is working as expected here. So now we have our face working, and we can reset the game. And it really is resetting the board underneath too, because we can see that we have a mine here, and when I reset, that was not a mine again. So that's great. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there, show what I've just done. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So I think one of the first things we did was add that. We added this index so that we can change the face. We also added a couple functions here. Most of these are just setting the face to a different index number with this image index right here. The default is 0, the 1 is like 3, lost is 4, question is 2, I believe. And this face click, this actually handles down and up presses. It's only for the purpose of the reset, so it's always a left mouse button click. And that's being decided in game. Okay, so let's look at how that is implemented. So these ones that are setting the faces, very straightforward. We're just setting the index number to a number, and you can see them right here. This is default, this is down, this is question, this is 1, this is lost. So this is the number 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. They're all void functions, and they're not const or anything because they are changing something. So this one right here, we know for a fact that this is only being done on left clicks because that's happening in the game. So the only thing we're interested in this function is if it's a down or an up action. So the first thing we want to know is, are we clicking on the actual face itself? And if it's the down action, we are changing that to the down image. If it's an up action, I don't want to reset the game. I only want to reset it if the image was in the down position. That means it had a prior action that was a successful down click, and this is a successful up click. If it's a successful up click after the down click, then yes, we are setting it back to 0 and we're resetting the game. We're we're returning true from this Boolean, and in game, we're going to reset game. Anything else, if it's an up, it's not a down, it's an up, we're going to reset it to 0. So this is purely for left clicks on the face. They need to go down on the face and up on the face. The mouse can move anywhere in between as long as it goes down on the face and up on the face. And that is pretty much everything in the face. Oh, down here at the bottom, we've changed this to use our image index right here instead of 0. So in board, we did change we added one little helper function that's just returning whether there is a board press action or not. That's just so that the face knows to change to that question mark face. So this is just a getter function, basically. That's returning true or false if it's one of those left or right is in a down state for the board. So in game, we were handling the board actions directly here, but what I've done is made these two game functions that are just passing it off to the board one. But now it can also, we can check if it's a left button purely for the resetting, and we can do the mouse click action. This again is purely for resetting the board. This one down here is for setting the question mark face. And here as well, we're using that same function. This is making sure it is a left click. And this one is, we're telling this one up here that it's a down, so it's true, and this one is not a down, so it's false. So the function knows if it's a down or up. So if we are coming up on the face and it is a good reset, then we can call game reset. And if game reset fails because something went wrong, we're failing out of this function. So game reset is up here. It's a very simple thing. We're just calling board reset, which also can fail. And that's all that's doing. And if we are coming up on any clicks, basically anywhere, we're setting it back to default face. Just because sometimes it wouldn't get reset back to default, so we're just doing that here. Anytime we're unclicking anywhere on the board, the face is going to be reset back to default face. Let me check something. So it's just always coming back, huh? Right, did I compile the final? Yeah, I did. So this is not right. This should only be resetting if it's a left action. I'm going to have to look into this, spend some time, because I don't know exactly the right way to fix this. So basically what's happening, well, it's not an issue at all for this video right here, but in the future, it's going to be a problem because basically the face is being reset sometimes when it shouldn't be reset. But it's not going to affect this video right here, but I'm going to fix that for the future implementation. I'll show you again what I'm concerned about. So this is the final game project, and what I'm concerned about is, say I end the game or something. So I have game over, and now I just click anywhere and release, and the face is reset. The face shouldn't reset. It should be game over. So I'll probably have it reset only if game is playing, but we don't have game is playing set up yet. But it doesn't affect this video. Again, let's just show this. The version of this video I think should be fine. Maybe it does it as well. Let's see. Well, we never get the game over face. So it always is coming. That's fine. It needs to come back up anywhere I click down, and that, yeah. So it's not affecting this video because we don't have another face state. I could probably have a reset one where it's just resetting it, or I can check if it's in the down, if it's the question mark state or the down state, but not if it's the win or lose state. But yeah, so it's not a bug now, but it's a future bug. We did change these slightly. So this was G board before. Now it's just G because the function has been moved up to here. So now it's calling, G board and passing those things in from here. I've just moved the function basically. This was already always a bool for failure, so I just preserved that. So I hope that was entertaining or educational. If you have any questions, just ask them in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.